All right, take three. Today's video is going to be about installing FL Studio on Linux. Okay, so I write music. I've been writing music for a long time. I know how to use the majority of the software out there to do it. And sometimes I get into a little spell using FL Studio, little Fruity Loops. I've been using Fruity Loops since around 7. And I think it's a great program. It's very versatile. It's good for learning. Um, and you know, sometimes you need to do this on Linux. And I've looked around, I hunted around for a long time. I've installed that. I've tried to install it a bunch of different ways, and they've all kind of had their pitfalls to them. You'd either get crashes all the time, or stuff wasn't working right, or this and that. And, I didn't really look at this for a long time until recently when, so like, I did like a 3 year period where I didn't touch any Windows whatsoever. And then I fucking wanted to use FL Studio. It was FL Studio and the game Rust. So I revisited the idea of getting rid of Windows completely, mainly because I have a Windows 10 machine and I do not plan on upgrading it, and I do not plan on doing Windows 12, and I do not plan on buying their stupid PCs with their neural chips or whatever the hell. I don't think that AI needs to be built into my fucking operating system so it can spy on me and send back screenshots to Microsoft so they know exactly what software I'm using and X, Y, and Z and all the things that I'm doing so they can sell little bits of metadata to companies to market towards me. I'm all set on that shit, right? So I'm like really pushing hard to try to get myself 100% back onto Linux, and this is part of where we're gonna go. So I'm gonna bring up. We got the little bottles thingy, whatever. I'm getting a stupid warning. Who cares? All of this is you know bottles. Run Windows in a bottle, easily run Windows software from a bottle. This is what the program looks like. You got some cool gamer shit going on. We got a little Overwatch. This is the program. I don't know. Do you want me to give you a better descriptor? I think it tells you what it needs to tell you. Okay, so if we open up bottles, I'll explain a little bit about how you got to do this. So when you first open this up, you saw how quick it loaded in. It's not going to do that. What it's going to do is it's going to go and download a bunch of stuff to make your wine compatibility better. Machine and distro specific stuff, video driver stuff. Anyway, from there, you hit your little plus sign, and then you're going to get this new thing, and you name it. And you can name it whatever you want, but I'd probably name it FL Studio. And if you go into here, when you have this first new little bottle, and you're going to do FL Studio, the very first thing you want to do is you go to Settings, and you scroll down, and here under Compatibility, it's going to be on Windows 10. You don't want it, oh shoot, I fucked that up. You don't want it to be on Windows 10. You want it to be um, on Windows XP. Otherwise, it's just going to not work right. You're going to go to open up a menu, and the animation will crash the container or whatever the hell it is that's running it. So after that, it's just the normal install. You can go here to install programs, right? They've got a whole list of stuff. And right on here, they have FL Studio. And look, you see, it's only a gold rating. It's not platinum, so you're probably going to get a crash here and there. But it's going to be a lot better than not having FL Studio, am I right? I noticed down here, too, they have Pokemon Affinity in platinum, but but the FL Studio somehow a more useful piece of software is only gold. Interesting. Okay, so after that, it'll run through all the normal FL Studio install Windows looking menus. You get it all good to go. You open it up. It'll show up in your menus now too. You'll have it in your menus. Hold on. Let's see. I have one open right here. The file system is going to be different. I'll explain that. I'll just give you a little. I'll show you like it's working. You don't gotta listen to my shit tier music, but it's working. It doesn't crash. You can go in here and you can go like this and go "Wah," and it won't crash the program because that's what would crash me back in the day. And so let's see. Let's add a sampler so I could show you the pathing. We got a little sampler here. If you go click in, if you notice, you're gonna go up the file tree and you're gonna be like, damn, this looks just like a Windows machine. Like this crap. And that's because it's like emulating the file system in order for FL Studio to use it properly. Now, to find your stuff, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to the Z, because the Z, that's your file, that's your Linux file system. And in there, you just path to the stuff that you would normally path to. So in your home folder here, I believe, let's see, is it gonna show hidden? It won't show hidden, but you're gonna have like places where you can stick your samples and stuff. I suggest doing it in music. That's normally where I keep mine on. And then you can find all that stuff. And then when you want to look for your whatchamacallit, your VST3 and other ones, I believe it's in Etsy. I don't know, I haven't really installed any VSTs on here. But yeah, you just go where your pathing for the VSTs are in Linux through that Z drive. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there's not a whole lot more I gotta explain to it. It was pretty painless. I know that when I was looking around at articles, people said a lot of different things, and it was a little bit, I don't know. One of the issues with Linux is documentation. A lot of the time, there are these people who have superiority complexes, and they want to type out some crazy shit in their manual, and it's hard to understand. This is not that hard to understand, but I was just getting a lot of different, oh, you gotta go do this, go do this. Nah, bro. All you gotta do, you open up bottles, you go do your little installation thing, make sure it's set to Windows XP, and that's literally it. You don't have to do any other this stuff that these nerds are typing in these articles. You just do this, and it works perfect. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get out of here. Let's do a little talkerino, talking about some things. KDE Plasma 6 will be having update release this week, which will most likely break my KDE thing, right? My Cronkite or whatever. However, it will most likely open it up for other things. So, I do plan on possibly making an updated video on that because I'm a little worried that things are going to break. Now, another thing, we might scrap the budgie video. I'm not 100% on it, only because it's like the budgie desktop is basically a cucked version of Cinnamon. It's like it's got a little bit nicer animations, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's locking you out of a lot of things. I still have not come up with a solution to my switching desktops and then focusing on the window on the desktop. Like, okay, so because I'm trying to do this with no mouse. So, like, let's say I move to the desktop, it won't be on the window. So if I go to try to type, it's not going to be there. That's not chill. So I don't know. Do I really even care to find a solution? I think the era of like budgie and stuff like that is over, my guy. Yuki, what's the other one? Mate. Like I think that era is kind of over. I think XFCE has solidified itself as like the lightweight. I would see like XFCE and Cinnamon. They're like the lightweight Windows style, more dependable desktops than the other ones. So now I'm on the fence if I want to even do anything about budgie, because shit. Okay, well, I need to consume some cannabis, and let's just get to the end of the video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you feel like it. If you feel like insulting me in the comments, go for it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. You can I'll just shout this out, like you can find me on Twitter, but I don't really post tech content there. It's really mainly just me crying at people. And that's at real J Danks. What else? Oh yeah, I mean, bro, when Cosmic Desktop comes out, get ready, because this is going to be a bunch of spurgy stuff. I started looking into Slint, like UI front end stuff for programs I want to write, and I want to make an applet for Cosmic Desktop Epoch when it comes out fully. Once they got the shortcut stuff and all that situated, I'm moving over to that. So that's gonna be cool. I will probably get into those videos. I already have an idea for an app. I'm not gonna say it because it's kind of memey and kind of funny and really creative and something that's extremely useful. So I gotta teach myself how to program this thing, which I am not the greatest programmer on the planet. I don't know like a ton about it. However, I do know I want to use Rust, and I've watched this video where this guy makes this thing with Slint, and it looks really great. And Slint, I can get that down easy beans, bro. Like I looked at the code. It's very simple. It's something intuitive for me. So that's gonna be cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, yo, share this on Discord to your homies. We gotta show Discord love. I mean, I get it. It's like an FBI honeypot where they're just spying on everybody and sending all your data everywhere. But yo, share that shit on your Discord, boys. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're gonna be out of here. We're gonna be out of here. Let's go. I wanna die.